Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Excuse me. Back again with another video. You see the thumbnail. The topic is Dak Prescott an elite quarterback in the NFL? And my answer, my opinion, of at this point right now, it is a no. He's not elite. Now, I think elite is you have to start off by defining what elite is. Elite is Mahomes. Elite is Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. That's what, at least in my opinion, how I define being elite. It's a guy who can go out there and he can win you a game, right? He can win you a game. The game's on the line. Fourth quarter. You're down 3, whatever. You need to get into field goal range, or you need a touchdown to win. Like that's who I'm looking at. I'm looking at a guy who can go out there and win me a game. And I don't think Dak Prescott is there yet. And I say yet because, I think there are a lot of things in Dallas that don't really, he's not really on a path to be an elite quarterback. And I think the Cowboys they're not helping him too much. I think the coaching situation in Dallas right now is weird. Mike McCarthy is the head coach, but Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator, and he seems to have a lot of power. So it's like, and he wasn't a Mike McCarthy hire. He was a holdover from the Jason Garrett era. So it's like, who or is everybody on the same page? And that's kind of the thing that I wonder with the Cowboys. Is everybody on the same page as far as coaching goes? Who's the ultimate guy? Who has to say so and everything. And I don't think it's Mike McCarthy. I think Kellen Moore does hold a lot of power as an offensive coordinator. And that's unlike any other situation in the NFL. So I don't think Dak Prescott really has the foundation to be an elite quarterback. Because the one thing about all those other quarterbacks that I name who I think are elite, the structures of the team and the structures of the franchises that they play for are in place. You have an owner, you have your GM, you have your head coach, and all of them are pretty much on the same page. And as far as there's not really like a power struggle in any of those situations. It seems to be that way in Dallas, and it's a situation that Jerry Jones created. But you can't be elite. I don't think you can have an elite quarterback under those circumstances, because if you do have an elite quarterback under those circumstances, then that guy becomes, more powerful as well too. So now you have quarterback, offensive coordinator, head coach, and owner all in a power struggle, all 4 of them. So that's not it's not a great situation to be in as a quarterback. But that's one of the reasons why I think Dak Prescott is not an elite quarterback. The other reason why too is that he has not been good enough, I think, in high leverage situations. And there's a lot that goes into that as well too. Especially how the Cowboys are playing. If they're playing well at the time, if they're struggling, if their offense is playing well and their defense is not making stops, or vice versa. There's a lot that goes into that team wise, but Dak Prescott has had several opportunities to kind of resurrect the dead, so to speak, kind of bring his team, put his team on his back and get him across the finish line. And he's come up short in several situations, right? The situation just a couple months ago in the playoffs against the Niners, that was, the latest situation in a pretty good string of late game situations that Cowboy fans were just disappointed in. And I think Dak Prescott holds some blame on the in that type of situation too. Like I said, I think he could have in that specific situation, the quarterback draw and the time running out and all that stuff. He could have vetoed that and called something else. The Cowboys were rolling, but again, if you're an elite quarterback and you hear that quarterback draw play in your helmet, you're not even thinking about that. You're going to call something else. You're going to call something better than that, because it's just not a it's a lose-lose situation, and everything had to go right. Everything had to go perfect in order for them to execute that play and still be able to have enough time to get there and spike it, all within what, 13, 14 seconds, whatever it was. If you're an elite quarterback, you're not even thinking that. You're completely canceling that out, and you're going to whatever play that you feel that you're going to be able to possibly complete a pass. If it's in bounds and you get up and spike it. If it's out of bounds, preferably out of bounds, but it's not going to be. You're not going to be thinking in those terms of, we need to do everything perfectly to execute this and then still spike the ball. That's not elite quarterback stuff. So, the late game situation, I think, is the biggest reason for me that he's not an elite quarterback. But on the flip side, he's not a bad quarterback as well either. I've heard a lot of talk, over, even just this free agency period, the past few weeks. People have compared him to Kirk Cousins. I've heard people say that he's black Kirk Cousins. Dak Prescott is not black Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is average. He's literally average. I believe his win-loss record is like 59 and 59. Like, he is the definition of average. But he gets paid like a top quarterback because that's what the market, bears for him. But Dak Prescott is better than Kirk Cousins. And I would take Dak Prescott over a lot of other quarterbacks in the NFC right now. Anybody not named Brady and Rodgers, I would take Dak Prescott over. I think he is the third best quarterback right now at this point right now in the NFC in that conference, because the conference has shifted. Russell Wilson's not there anymore. A lot of talent has crossed conferences and went over to the AFC. So there is space for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys to potentially make a pretty good playoff run this coming season. The NFC is weak. It's weak now. Their specific division, it hasn't really gotten better. The biggest move has been Carson Wentz to Washington, but I don't think that is it's an upgrade. But we know that Carson Wentz has struggled, and he is not by any stretch of the imagination dominated in the NFL or whatever. I don't think Cowboy fans are afraid of Carson Wentz in Washington. So their division, the NFC East, aka NFC Least, is still weak. The Cowboys still have enough talent to dominate that. And they have enough talent to win a lot of games, and to have a home playoff game, just like they did this past season. They have a lot of talent, and they've lost some guys, yes, but they still have more than enough talent to win this division. They still have more than enough talent to play in a home game in the playoffs. But again, it boils down to Dak Prescott and how he is going to play in these high leverage situations, playoff games, late game heroics and things like that. He needs to improve. He needs to focus in more. I don't know if it's anything that he is not doing as far as like preparation wise, but he does need to focus in more, because there are opportunities for him to elevate his status as a NFL quarterback. He's being paid as one of the best quarterbacks, so he should, his performance should mimic that on the field. But he just, for whatever reason, he hasn't done it yet. He is still, like I said, he's still a young guy. He's still a young, very, very young player, very young quarterback. And barring anything health-wise, I expect him to have a really long career. But I think this is, and the reason why I say yet is because I think they have a chance. I think the Cowboys have a chance this year, as much as people are giving them a hard time, and the free agency stuff and all that stuff. Like, they really don't need to do a whole lot. They don't need to spend a whole lot of money. I know they let La'el Collins get, he's in Cincinnati now. Amari Cooper is in Cleveland. Cedric Wilson with the Dolphins. They've lost some guys on defense. Randy Gregory with the Broncos. But like I said, they still have enough talent to completely dominate the division and have a home playoff game. Now, are they good enough to get into that number one seed for the bye? I don't know. I don't think so. But they do have talent. They have talent, but it is on Dak Prescott. And if Dak can't do it in this weekend division, this weekend conference, then you're gonna start seeing more detractors. And I already have been seeing more detractors over the past few years regarding Dak Prescott, but I think he has to get it done this season. He has to get it done. I expect the Cowboys to win at least two playoff games. You're looking at like I said, a weakened NFC conference. If the Bucks are going to be number one, if the Bucks are the best, I say Dallas easily can slide into that number 2 position. I don't expect Green Bay to be as good. Losing a bunch of talent, losing a bunch of I don't know how many catches they lost between Devontae Adams and Valdez-Scantling, but they're not going to be as good. No matter who's there, Aaron Rodgers, I know they've had a lot of success, but you need talent. You need talent to throw the ball to, and I just don't think that they are going to. I don't think they're going to show much this year with the loss of talent. So Dallas can easily slide up there in that number 2 position. If you're Dak Prescott, you got to be really, really, really pumped. You got to be really excited, but you also have to, recognize that you need to come through in these big moments. That's the only way you're going to be looked at as an elite quarterback. You have to come through in the big moments, and in a weekend conference, weekend division, you have to get it done. I think he will get it done this year. I'm not sure. I can't say it definitively. I'm not going to put any money on it, but I think he does get it done. There's no better time to get it done than now. And they don't even have to go to the Super Bowl or anything. Get to an NFC Championship game. If they can get to an NFC Championship game against the Bucks, that's success. And I think Dak Prescott goes into the elite category if that happens. But you're gonna have to get through the season first, stay injury free. But the Cowboys should beat up on the NFC East, and they should easily have some home playoff games. But we'll see as time comes around, and we'll see what the Cowboys do in the draft, and if they're able to get some more talent in free agency. But it's really on Dak Prescott. His elite status is really on him. There's enough talent around him, and like I said, the opportunity is opened up. The window's wide open now, so it's time for him to get it done. But that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. Don't forget to give me a like. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the comments if you already think Dak Prescott is elite, or if you disagree with me. Hit the comments, let me know what you think. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. Until next time, see you later.